The mysterious package detective, Elena Hayes, had seen a lot in her 15-year career, but the small, unmarked package that landed on her desk one rainy afternoon was different. The box was plain, except for a note scrawled in messy handwriting. Listen to this if you want the truth. Inside, she found several old cassette tapes, each labeled with a date spanning nearly 2 decades. Intrigued, Elena dusted off an old cassette player and inserted the first tape. The tape crackled before a deep, hoarse voice began to speak. "My name is Adam Cole, and if you're listening to this, it means I'm already dead. But I have a story to tell. A story about a crime that was never solved, and it starts with me." The revelation hit Elena hard. Adam Cole had been reported missing 15 years ago, and his disappearance was labeled a cold case. Now, as she listened to his voice, it became clear that these tapes were his attempt to tell his side of a story involving a crime, a web of lies, and a secret buried deep within their small town. Adam's voice painted a grim picture. He described a group of friends, once close-knit but torn apart by a tragedy. He spoke about his best friend, Marcus, who had been found dead under mysterious circumstances. The incident was officially ruled an accident, but rumors had always hinted at foul play. Adam's confession was startling. He claimed he knew the truth about Marcus's death, but insisted he wasn't the one responsible. "They framed me," he said. "They knew I was getting too close to finding out who really killed Marcus." Elena could feel her heart quicken as she listened. She had always been haunted by the unresolved cases that lingered in the back of her mind, but none had ever come back to confront her like this. As Adam's voice continued, it became clear that he had been trying to unravel a conspiracy, one that involved not just his friends, but powerful figures in the town. The tapes hinted at a dangerous game of manipulation, deceit, and betrayal, with Adam caught in the middle. Each tape seemed to reveal more pieces of a puzzle, but it was still unclear who was pulling the strings. As Elena sat there, the rain tapping against her office window, she realized this was more than just a confession. It was a call for justice from beyond the grave, and she was the only one who could answer it. The hidden truth. As Detective Elena Hayes listened to the tapes, Adam Cole's voice transported her back to a small town riddled with dark secrets. The story he told was of a group of childhood friends, once inseparable, whose lives unraveled after a tragic event. The tapes gradually revealed the events leading up to that fateful night when everything changed. Adam spoke of Marcus, his best friend, who had been found dead under suspicious circumstances 15 years ago. The authorities had ruled it an accident, but the town had always been buzzing with rumors of foul play. According to Adam, Marcus's death was no accident, and he knew the truth behind it. "They framed me," Adam said on the tape. "I was getting too close to finding out who really killed him, and they needed me out of the way." The more Elena listened, the deeper she was drawn into the story. Adam described how he had started to piece things together, noticing inconsistencies in Marcus's death and strange behavior among their friends. He talked about the tension that had grown within their group in the months leading up to Marcus's death. One name kept appearing: Thomas Walker, a prominent businessman and town council member. Adam's recordings painted Thomas as a manipulative figure who had a hidden hand in many aspects of the town's affairs. Elena's curiosity grew as she continued to listen. Adam recounted how Marcus had stumbled upon a secret, one that could ruin Thomas if it ever came to light. It was clear that Marcus had intended to expose it, but before he could, he was silenced. Adam claimed that after Marcus's death, he had been warned to stop asking questions, but he couldn't let it go. The tapes hinted at corruption, cover-ups, and a power struggle that extended far beyond a simple accident. As she dug deeper, Elena found herself revisiting old files, re-interviewing people who knew Marcus and Adam, and following up on leads that had been overlooked years ago. She discovered that many of the town's prominent figures had connections to Thomas, and some had gone to great lengths to protect him. It became clear that Adam's suspicions weren't just wild theories. He had been on the verge of uncovering a conspiracy. The more tapes Elena listened to, the more she realized that this was bigger than she had imagined. It was a story of betrayal, deception, and power, one that had left a trail of ruined lives. And Adam's tapes were his desperate attempt to reveal the truth, even if it cost him everything. The shadows of the past, determined to uncover the truth, Detective Elena Hayes launched her own investigation, revisiting the events surrounding Marcus's death and Adam's disappearance. The more she listened to the tapes, the more she realized that Adam had been unraveling a dangerous web of lies. His confessions hinted at a powerful enemy, Thomas Walker, a respected businessman who seemed to have an unshakable grip on the town. Alina pored over old case files, spoke to people who knew Adam and Marcus, and quickly learned that almost everyone had something to hide. Several key figures, including former police officers and local politicians, had deep ties to Thomas, creating a wall of silence that had stalled the original investigation. But there was something about the way Adam described Thomas, calm, calculated, and ruthless, that convinced Elena this was not a man used to playing by the rules. The fourth tape brought a revelation that shifted everything. Adam's voice trembled as he recounted how Marcus had uncovered Thomas's secret, a lucrative, illegal operation that could have destroyed his career if exposed. Marcus had confronted Thomas, threatening to go public, but within days he was dead. Adam believed that Thomas had orchestrated the murder and staged it as an accident. He controls everything, Adam said, and he'll do whatever it takes to keep it that way. Elena's investigation revealed further troubling connections. She found records of unexplained financial transactions, questionable land deals, and mysterious disappearances, all leading back to Thomas Walker. The more she dug, the more it seemed that Thomas was willing to bury any threat to his empire, no matter the cost. But if Marcus had stumbled upon his secret, why hadn't anyone else connected the dots? Elena realized that there was one person who might hold the key to understanding it all. Claire, a woman mentioned frequently on the tapes. Adam had described her as someone who knew more than she let on, but who had been too frightened to speak out. After some effort, Elena tracked Claire down to a remote cabin outside town. When Elena mentioned the tapes, Claire's fear melted into resignation. "I always knew this day would come," she said quietly. As Claire began to share her story, Elena felt a chill run down her spine. Adam had been right. There was a conspiracy, and it went deeper than she had ever imagined. Now, with the truth tantalizingly close, Elena knew she was stepping into dangerous territory, one where the wrong move could make her the next target. The final revelation detective, Elena Hayes, sat across from Claire, the woman who could finally connect all the missing pieces. Claire was hesitant at first, but once she realized Elena was determined to uncover the truth, she began to open up. "I should have come forward years ago," Claire said, her voice heavy with regret. "But I was terrified. Thomas made sure I stayed silent." Claire revealed that she had been close to both Marcus and Adam. She had known about Marcus's discovery, the secret that threatened Thomas Walker's empire. Marcus had stumbled upon evidence of Thomas's involvement in an illegal operation, one that could ruin his carefully constructed image. When Marcus threatened to expose him, Thomas acted swiftly, arranging his murder to look like an accident. "He was powerful, untouchable," Claire said. "Everyone was either on his payroll or too scared to challenge him." Elena's mind raced as she processed the information. Adam had known all of this. He had pieced it together after Marcus's death and had begun gathering evidence to take down Thomas. But Thomas had caught on, and before Adam could act, he was silenced. The tapes were Adam's last-ditch effort to get the truth out, knowing he might not live to see it happen. "He told me he felt like a dead man walking," Claire whispered. "He knew they were coming for him." Armed with Claire's testimony and the damning evidence on the tapes, Elena realized she finally had enough to confront Thomas. She coordinated with the state police, planning a raid on his office to gather any further evidence. But when she arrived, Thomas was gone, as if he had vanished into thin air. It was clear he had been tipped off, but Elena refused to give up. That's when she received a call from an unknown number. "You think you can take me down, detective?" Thomas's voice was calm, almost amused. "You're in over your head. I've been doing this for years, and a few tapes won't change that." Elena felt a surge of defiance. "Maybe not, but I'm not stopping until you pay for what you did." Thomas laughed softly. "Good luck with that. Just remember, you're playing a dangerous game." Despite his threats, Elena pressed on. She knew Thomas was still out there, still pulling strings, but the tapes had exposed his crimes to the world. The investigation gained national attention, sparking a deeper probe into the corruption that had gripped the town for years. Though Thomas managed to evade immediate capture, his once untouchable power was crumbling. The confession tapes became more than just Adam's story. They were a beacon of truth, forcing the town to confront its dark past. Elena knew the fight wasn't over, but she had made a promise to Adam, Marcus, and now to herself. She would keep pushing until every last secret was unearthed and justice was finally served.